Hey there, Tracy Kanowski here, America's Virtual Nutritionist, and I get asked fairly often about juicers, like what do Johny and I have and what's the difference in all the kinds of juicers. So I'm going to show you mine, but first let's talk about 4 kinds of juicers and then you can decide the pros and cons of each. So number 1, the cheapest entry point to a juicer is a centrifuging juicer. And you can think of it like your wash machine where it spins everything round and round. And the con of a centrifuging juicer is you can't do leafy greens. You can't do wheatgrass, parsley, cilantro, any little stuff like that, okay? Because it just doesn't work. And I had one. I had a Jack LaLanne, got it from Costco years ago, and it was really difficult to clean. That's my only experience with it. I took it back. That was never going to work, okay? Fast forward, I bought a masticating juicer, the second kind of juicer, and it presses the juice out of the food. And you can do parsley, cilantro, wheatgrass, any of those greens like that. So we have a masticating juicer. It's pretty easy to clean, and I'm going to tell you when we look at my juicer the one thing that you now can do different. And then the third kind of juicer is a twin blade juicer, and it just has 2 blades, and again you can still do wheatgrass, parsley, cilantro. So it's just a step up, and they say the pulp is drier. I don't have one. I don't know anybody who has one, so I can't tell you much about that, but you can look into them. And the fourth juicer is only one kind. It's called a Norwalk, and it presses the juice out. They have a video on their website. They're very expensive. They're $2,500 compared to a few $100s for, let's say, a masticating. My friend Sarah has a Norwalk. She said they love it, but they also have a masticating, and I got the impression they maybe use that more often. Okay, so we have a centrifuging, it spins it round and round. We have masticating where it presses, it's got kind of a screw and a drill and it presses the juice out. We have a twin blade where you have 2 blades still pressing the juice out, and a Norwalk which goes to a whole new level. And when I looked at that, even if I wanted to spend $2,500 on a juicer, it looked to me like a lot of work. One other thing we have to talk about is that a centrifuging juicer, the juices don't last very long because it heats up the juice, spinning it round like that, and so it's best to drink that juice right away. In a masticating juicer, the experts on juicers, say that you can use the juice up to 24 hours. I juice and drink right away, but I've been through phases where I've done that different. Depends what you're juicing to. Celery juice, you want to juice and consume it immediately, and I do celery juice straight alone, just celery juice, no kale. I know what you're thinking, but it helps to rebuild hydrochloric acid. But if I was doing celery, cucumber, parsley, something like that, then I could make that and not worry about it oxidizing quite as quick. Okay, so centrifuging spins round and round, and you need to drink it right away, but they are cheaper. And so what we bought is an Omega juicer. I bought it used off Amazon. It's a masticating, and I bought it used a few years ago because I wasn't sure if we would juice all the time. I really love the idea of smoothies and just putting my kale and spinach and stuff in there. But I came to a point where I realized that if you're deficient, and I think we're all deficient, the soil's deficient, that's another video probably, but if you're deficient in trying to rebuild and work on something, I think juicing is great, and then there's a place for smoothies too. So every single day I have both. I start out the morning with lemon water, then I do celery juice on an empty stomach to rebuild my hydrochloric acid, and I wait 20 or 30 minutes, and then I have my smoothie with, you know, more leafy greens and spinach and kale, but also a lot of fruit. So I do it all, and it's up to you. That's just what I do, having been a sick person, and I work hard on my health in order to make sure I stay well. So the next session is we're going to look at my juicer. Okay, here's my juicer. There's also my essential oils and my little sprouts growing. But I have an Omega juicer, and you can see the parts here. So all you do, here's what presses the juice out. And I have to do this one-handed, so sorry if it's a little wobbly. And then here's your screen, and it does get stained. You can see I use it every single day, but that's what the juice comes through, and that just fits in there nicely. And then you just put the cap on. And now when I go to juice, you've got this little plastic bucket with a screen over the top so you don't get more pulp in there. And then just put a bowl or something here. There is a second bucket. And I do juice into that, and I drink it right away, so I know that it's plastic. But I do like to not have the extra pulp in there. So that's it. You just turn it on. It's got a forward and a reverse. The only thing that I would change is that if you can tell, this is a little bit of a smaller opening. It's probably 1 inch. So I just have to have, you know, things like apples sliced, cucumbers sliced, and they do now make masticating juicers with a larger opening. But don't be fooled. When they show you that a whole apple is going down that chute, it's a little apple still. I mean, you probably are still going to have to cut your apples, because the only apples that are that small are like little baby Red Delicious. But most apples, Gala, Fuji, Honeycrisp, those are much bigger. So anyway, this is how easy this is. And again, the juice is going to come out right here, and there could just be a little bowl or something right here. And I've not gotten creative with all of my pulp, and I don't feel bad about it. I give it to the chickens. They love whatever comes out of the juicer, and that's it really. So we've got centrifuging, masticating, twin blade, and a Norwalk. And now you know the pros and cons of both, and we'll see you next time.